All right, it is April 9th, and we are back here in our backyard bee apiary. We have three hives going right now. I always like to have a goal when I come out and look at our hives. Maybe that goal is just something as simple, just make sure our queens are alive, or it's something more. So the yellow hive right behind me, our goal is to see if they are in that second deep laying eggs. I switched the hive bodies last week, so let's see if that queen has moved up. The blue hive, we are adding a second deep to that hive because we have nice weather here. So they are going to be exploding, want to keep them from swarming. And then our last piece here, again, we're seeing if that queen has moved into the second deep and taking actions to prevent swarming. So that's our goal. We're checking for queen health. We are seeing where that queen is laying, and that way we can come up with a plan for where we are headed.
Alright, so with our first hive today, we had to emergency feed these girls for the last couple months because they ran out of food. They were running really light here after winter. So our first thing we have to do is get the sugar off because it's now warm enough to feed them. So we're going to get the sugar off, and then we are going to see where the queen's at. These are our steps. We got a lot of bees up here munching on that sugar. It's like I said, they do not have very much food. So we're going to pull, maybe we'll take these chunks off, shake them. Now that we're going to start feeding them. This might have been a day that we used smoke, but that's okay. So they're in the hive. That's not what we wanted to do. It's alright. It's chunky. Pick it up. Alright, get all this sugar out of here because we are now feeding them. Our second piece is we got to see if Miss Queen is up here, and they're a little pissed off. They're going after my hood here. It's okay. Alright, let's pop it and see what's going on. So I did a box reverse on this hive last weekend. We had queens laying. We're going to dump this sugar over here away from the hive. Bees are moving pretty quick. A little agitated. Don't see the queen on it. Put that to the side. And they have moved up this top box quite quickly. So I always start at the end. So I also gave them this frame of food last time from hive that I had that died out. Queenie shouldn't be on the end, but just do a quick little glance. They are moving today. Quite a nice day here in Colorado. Get to these centers. These are where the queens like to lay eggs. Right here in the center. Looking down in those. I do not see eggs on that side. Oh, queen's right there actually. So she is laying away. So we have done multiple things. We have found the queen. Obviously she is in the second box, so that first box is filling quite up. So these girls are taken right off with the spring weather. We really need to start thinking about splitting them. So here in about a week, I think, I'm going to be really looking at making some splits. Hopefully you guys can see that's queen heading up the middle of the board there. She is looking awesome. Looking awesome. So we know where she's at. She is alive. We're going to put this all back together. Always want to put it back the same way you found it. Squish your frames together. Ooh. Slower you go, the more gentle you go, less chance that you're going to make them mad and sting you. Alright, so we're going to feed this hive just to give them that much more of a little boost this week. We don't have much blooming yet, but by the end of the week we're going to have all sorts of things. We saw the first dandelions blooming today, the first April flowers are blooming today. We're going to give them this beast. Always tip it over in the back and put it right over the hole. Then I put a super on top. Oop, that's not what we wanted. Another sugar water up here now. Just like that. Already licking up that sugar water that was spilt. Give me some more. Perfect. Close it up. Easy as that. Alright, so this next hive actually went over winter as a single deep. They actually created their queen, lost a queen, combined this hive with 2 other hives, and then all the forager bees kept coming back and I felt bad. So I'm like, well, let's give you a shot. Let's give you a frame of brood and some eggs and see if you guys can make a queen. And they ended up making a queen at the end of August, which is terribly late when it comes to beekeeping here in Colorado. But she was able to lay through September, and they somehow were able to survive. So today we are checking for queen health. We're going to add a second box. We're also going to feed them. So this is the smallest of the 3 hives by far. Again, they got a sugar board on, so we just got to take that off. So a little easier than the other one. Because they're single deep, made sure that they had a sugar board to make it all the way through. Again, try and move as slow and as delicate as possible. The more you jerk them, the more you rattle them, the more they get mad. Not a big believer in smoke. Also, what a pain to get your smoker started every time. So let's look for evidence of the queen. Put on that second box. They are going to be stoked to have 2 boxes to live in because they haven't got that. This frame's pretty heavy. Until it's honey. I added this frame last week for them because we had some cold weather go through. I wanted them to have some frames with honey, so it is looking good. I do not see the queen on there. which she shouldn't be on these end hives, but she doesn't have very much room in this single box, so get these things started. Alright, so I'm going to put that down. Then same thing, I'm going to move this frame out of the way. Pick up this frame. So we have cap brood, we have larvae in all stages. So these girls are ready for second box. Let's see if we can find Queenie here. Not seeing her on this one, but I do see eggs deep down in those cells, so we know that she has been on this frame within the last 3 days, right? So we do know that. We'll pick up one more frame, take a look here before it's not her. Before we close her up, I like just seeing evidence of the queen. Eggs is more than enough evidence for me. Pull one more frame out before we give them a double decker and some food. So again, looking down there, all of these have eggs. Nice healthy queen. She's not even a year old yet, so she is rocking it. A nice little bee dance going on down there. Look at my pollen legs, my pollen pants. Guys, I got some pollen pants. There she is, right there. Boom! Second queen of the day. She is trying to get out of the sun. Queens don't like the sun. She wants someone to bring her an umbrella. So you keep it up, Queenie. Doing an awesome job. She laid on this side yet? So she's just getting to this side. Should have kept her in my sight so I know where she's at when I put this frame back. Oh, there she is. She's running back to the other side. They do not like the sun. Alright, so I'm going to put this queen down. Ooh, I like to be able to see her in there when I place her in there. That way I know I don't roll her. It's the worst way to lose a hive, definitely this early in the season. There's not very many drones created yet, so it would definitely be a little bit doomed if they died. But again, they got what, 16 days to make an egg into a queen. Make an egg into a queen, then the queen has about a week of mating flights. So there should be drones out by then, if worst case scenario, but we don't want to run into that worst case scenario. Definitely when we want a good honey year. Alright, so that's looking good. Move this stuff off to the side. We got some foragers here. They're like, whoa, there's some honey on this. Ooh, first wasp of the season too. Geesh. Spring is here. Spring has sprung. Seeing everything. Wasps. Alright, it's looking pretty good. I always put down my hive tool, can never find it. Squish those together. You don't squish these together, it's improper bee space, and then you got all sort of funky stuff going on that you don't want. You just don't want. Build the comb all wonky, get it stuck all together. Alright, inner cover right here. Inner covers are a little nicer for the in-frame feeding because they have rectangle cut out instead of a circle. Alright, looks good. Just like that, second hive done. We're gonna still this piece of tape, put it right there. Beautiful. Alright, we are on our last hive for today. This hive we are not feeding. One, because I don't have any jars. And two, they were the strongest. They had frames of food left. So I'm not too worried about them being hungry, just because they have food and things are starting to flow. So, main mission on this one, check to see if queen's in the second box, which all three other hives had queen in second box. So it'd be surprising if this one did not. Do a quick check on the lid. Queenie should not be on there, but you never know. Alright, here we go. Again, we got frames of bees across the top. All these hives are full. It is pretty close to that spring swarm time. Edge frame, always the honey frame. It's like where they like stacking up, so they still have some pretty good reserves there. Do not see Queenie, but doesn't mean she can't be there. But most likely not on these edges. Alright, same technique. I'm going to skip this one and go to the next one. Been pretty lucky seeing two other queens today. It'd be awesome to see the third one. Alright, so we're gonna carefully pull out this frame. Bottom comb that we're gonna scrape off here. There are fine nectar or sugar water from somewhere. Blow on them a little bit. Let's get this burr comb off. So they like to make drones and swarm cells with burr comb underneath, which is great. However, it sticks to the frames underneath. And when it sticks to the frames, things just get a little messier when you're trying to pull them. Things stick, and you pull a little harder, and you pull too hard, and all of a sudden you yank them all out, and then they get mad at you. So, going slow. Pop the next one out. These girls are finding sugar water or pollen somewhere. Nectar, I guess. Sugar water or nectar somewhere. Again, looking for the queen. Where is your Royal Highness at? Look down in there. I see Paul. There's not much going on. Don't see any eggs yet. She may have not moved over the second box yet. We got another one to check here. Again, I'm going to get rid of this burr comb. It's blowing lightly on them, gets them to move around a little bit. Try not to kill too many. Alright, slide this one back down in there. Let's check this. I guess I got 2 middles. 8 frames gives me 2 middles is a mean. There we go. Alright. Let's see what's shaking on this one here. Oh, that's a fat drone. This one has some drones already. Well, in this case, I don't think Queenie has decided to come to this second box. Means that this hive's just a little bit behind that first hive we looked at. Which is interesting because this hive is finding nectar or sugar water where the other hives are not. Again, looking for queen or evidence of the queen. So, since we did not see the queen or evidence of the queen, I'm going to go in that first box. We want to make sure she is alive. Because if she is not alive, then at least we know what's going on. We can determine a better plan. They have packages and queens and whatnot being sold right now, so this hive were to be queenless, I could potentially pick up a queen. It's never my favorite thing to buy queens that are not from Colorado, just because I like a Colorado queen. Alright, so let's push these together. And we're going deep. One reason I have 8-frame equipment is when I do have to move a full box, it is not as heavy as 10-frame equipment. Let's get rid of this edge frame. Food frame, and it is heavy. Which should be. Packed honey on both sides. Again, this was the second box. Just did a Hive box reversal last week. They're all hanging out in this one. This one over. Again, chances are that is pollen, bee bread, stuff to raise the brood on. Oop, and she is. There's the queen right there. She's still moving around. Attendants looking after her. So we know she's alive, but is she laying is the question. Oh, there she goes. Thought about it. Put her in the shade, she'll... I don't like to do this. I'm going to lose her for a minute and turn around. See if we can find eggs. Oh yeah, we got lots and lots of eggs on this side. Alright, so that makes me feel a little better. See if we can spot her again. Before I put her back. I'll squish her as she is. So I'm going to keep my eye on her here. There's eggs. We know she's alive. I have to look in my bee journal to see how old this queen is, though. She maybe about retired here in the bee yard. Alright, put the hive back together. So, I'm thinking this hive, we have a little time before they want to swarm. They got plenty of time, plenty of room at the top to lay. It probably wouldn't hurt to feed them. Everything's lined up. Frames are pushed back together. Lids back on. And the topper.
Alright, just like that, we are done with those 3 hives. Easy peasy here in the backyard. We have, just to recap here, We got this hive. This hive is booming. It is lots and lots of bees, lots of eggs. Queen's in the second box. She is ready to explode. So she is my main concern on a swarm. So we need to either get a super on that one pretty quickly and make a split here. So we're going to make a split into that fourth hive that we're missing that died over this winter. We added a second brood box to our single frame, so we'll check on her in a week and see how she is doing. And then our last one is not as far as along as I'd like to see, so we are going to feed it, and we are going to keep an eye on that queen and see how she is doing. Um, yeah, so if you liked what you see, like, subscribe, give a comment, and let me know what you think.